Hi, I'm Ollie, and this is Queer Will's Corner. I figured that since I want to talk honestly about my experiences with mental illness and mental health on this channel, that I would do a video to just kind of give you a basic overview of the mental illnesses and conditions that I deal with. Now, I do want to give you somewhat of a content warning that while I will not be talking about them in very much detail, just because this is an introduction video, I will be talking about pretty heavy topics. So if talks of mental illness make you uncomfortable, then maybe you shouldn't watch this video. So I have ADHD and possibly autism spectrum disorder. There are a lot of overlapping symptoms between attention deficit hyperactive disorder, or ADHD, and autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, and I exhibit a lot of them. I have a professional diagnosis of ADHD. I got diagnosed when I was 18. There is some strong speculation, both personal and professional, that I am also on the autism spectrum. Some of the things that I experience with my ADHD and or autism spectrum are hyperfocus, stimming or repetitive self-stimulation, over and understimulation, as well as a lot of sensory and texture issues, not understanding tone of voice, either mine or other people's. I also have anxiety, and I have social anxiety, but also general anxiety. An example of my social anxiety is that I was at a book club meeting a couple weeks ago, and we were in a bar, and I was overstimulated and I wanted to leave. And the reason that it took me so long to leave was because I was anxious about creating a big deal of my leaving, or of drawing that social attention to myself, in case the people that I was with, for whatever reason, didn't react well to me expressing that I was uncomfortable. So that took me about an hour and a half before I was so anxious that I was able to get myself out of there. I pretty much just got so anxious that I said fuck it and just left. So that's an example of my social anxiety. I also have general anxiety that hits me at random times. There's not always a cause for it. I have racing thoughts, and I go nonverbal. Trying to apply logic to the anxiety doesn't really work while I'm in the moment of the anxiety. I also have severe depression, and I've had depression for as long as I can remember. Really, the last 6 to 8 months is the first time that I can consistently remember not feeling depressed all the time. I've made multiple attempts on my life. I have a long history with self-harm. I almost constantly feel numb and or detached from what is going on around me. Even when other depressive symptoms aren't really present, and for the most part I'm in a healthier headspace, I still feel pretty numb. That is actually a less severe form of depression known as a dysthymia. I have dissociative identity disorder, which was previously known as multiple personality disorder. And I'm not really comfortable with talking about this one yet. This isn't the newest one in my life. The experiences and the symptoms of this have been there for years, but my ability to acknowledge my dissociative identity disorder is new in my life. So I'm mentioning this just for the sake of being honest, but I will most likely not be talking about my dissociative identity disorder or my alters on this channel for a long time, if at all. I have post-traumatic stress disorder about at least 3 different things. I didn't previously know that you could have PTSD about more than one thing, but it is definitely possible to have PTSD about multiple things. I have very severe symptoms with my PTSD. In fact, I was looking into getting a psychiatric service dog for a while, not too long ago. That is unfortunately not really an option in my life right now, but my PTSD experiences were severe enough that I was looking into it as an option. So with my PTSD, I have frequent panic attacks, at least 2 or 3 a week. I go nonverbal. I have dissociative episodes, so like reality kind of disappears for me because I'm so entrenched in that flashback that the rest of the world just disappears. I also have chronic pain, and while chronic pain is not a mental illness or a mental condition, I'm mentioning it now because it does drastically affect my mental health. It does interact with my mental illnesses. My chronic pain causes anxiety and depression, fear about the future. So it's worth mentioning because it does significantly affect my mental health. So that's kind of just an overview of my experiences with mental illness and mental health. I will be going into more detail about most of these things in many videos to come, so if you're interested in any of this, be on the lookout for those. If you like the content that I'm putting out thus far, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. Let me know in the comments if you're dealing with mental illnesses yourself, and if you have any similar experiences to any of the things I've mentioned that I have. I would love to learn more about you. As always, all videos will always be captioned. Thanks for watching.
Hi, me again. I felt the need to put a disclaimer on this video. I get really anxious when talking about my reality with my mental health experiences, and there are some people in my life that do not know about my mental illnesses, or if they do, they do not know the extent of them. I would feel safest keeping it that way. So I really appreciate all of the people who have shared my videos in the past, but what I'm asking of you is that you do not share this video, because I do not want certain people to learn more about my experiences with mental health. I realize that by putting this out into the world and in a public sphere, that there's a chance that these people might see this and learn about it anyways, and I am willing to deal with that, but I do not want to make that chance bigger and more likely by having people share it. So if you like the content that I'm making and you would like to support me, please support me by hitting subscribe or like, but please do not share this video. I apologize about the poor lighting in this video. I'm a little bit light sensitive right now, so I'm not turning on any lights like I usually do to film, and the window is right there, so just trying to take care of myself as best as I can under the circumstances. Thank you.